last night, I'm in bed asleep, and I hear a knock on the door, and then and like no, it's we're in a dead end street, and it's dark and stuff, and my wife's going, "Who is it? Who is it?" And then I can't hear that, but then she's like, "I don't know, you're at the wrong address," and she's like, "You go away, you're all this shit," and it's like and the guy's at the wrong place or whatever, and then I'm like thinking maybe I should get up or whatever. I just tell the dog.
Happy Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, happy Ash Wednesday.
That explains it.
I thought it was Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday. Well, I guess it would be if you stubbed out your joint in your finger and then made the sign of the cross.
It looks like you wiped some of it on your upper lip too. Is that a mustache or is that more hash?
He's trying to buy beer.
It looks to me like you took a Sean Rouse onto the coffee table and just landed in the ashtray.
Yeah. Well, my wife is off to her job. She doesn't recognize the Easter holiday like she used to, so I kind of, like to up my game a little. So.
Yeah, you're carrying the water for two.
Right. And she can't. Yeah, it's more of an inside joke because she's pretty much blind. But All right, well, have fun at your thing. It's something on your head. No, it's the mark of the beast. Don't worry about it. Enjoy your church.
Andy passive aggressively ashed his own forehead just to fuck with somebody.
When you can do it at home using things that you have sitting around to make your own Ash Wednesday happen. Yeah. I found this is my Bible that I got back in the day for memorization, and I wrote down I think what is probably my favorite scripture of the moment. I can't really read my writing. Oh. Something to do with spirit and peace, yo. So
I don't remember that one from the Bible.
I got this.
Spirit and peace, yo. Ephesians 12:42.
And it was awarded to me in 1969. So there you go. It comes with its own jokes. Hey, speaking of jokes, did you catch any of that Bloomberg stand-up set last night? Good God.
No, I was doing more important things.
Ooh.
It's kind of fun watching Bloomberg because it's like watching a really bad comic develop. He sucked bad.
This is like he's gotten past the inviting friends to his shows.
Yeah.
He's got like 10 or 15 under his belt, but he still knows that like that first time when he thought he killed, he really didn't kill. Now he's got to build that.
Yeah.
Your political talk has already walked Erickson, and I'm next. So fucking watch it. You're towing the line here.
It's about Michael Bloomberg the comic, not so much the Oglark. Yeah. He is he like this character. Yeah, like he bombed this first show. Everybody, he was the fucking guy. He bombed. He bought his way onto the showcase, and he bombed. This next set.
He brought the PA.
Yeah, he brought the PA, and this time. He remembered his jokes. He just forgot some of the setups, and he forced them, and they didn't get any laughs or anything. But he is getting better.
Are you talking about your set, Andy? Or are you talking about
we were all there for your set, Andy. We know.
You did fine. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I think I can help Michael Bloomberg, but I'm not going to do it for free. I mean, we've traveled some of the same roads, me and Mike.
You're going to punch up his jokes a bit there? Is that what you're saying?
I just tell him to kill. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a tough one because he's not at all funny. He shouldn't even try to be funny. Just what he should have. He missed his moment when Elizabeth stepped on him for suggesting to an employee she get an abortion. he should have jumped all over that and said, yeah, I did. And I'd suggest a lot more people do it. Or I think Tom can agree with this. We don't have enough resources in this climate change situation for all these babies. So I think Mike's right. But he jumped away from that. Like, oh, no, I didn't ask nobody to get an abortion. Bullshit. You're a rich dude. You've asked everybody you've met to have an abortion.
Yeah, it's implied.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at the guy. Wouldn't you have an abortion if you were impregnated with the guy? Of course you would. Fuck yes. Anyway, that's the political slant.
I missed it. I was last night at the Comedy Store did the 40th birthday roast of Julie Seabaugh.
I saw that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, I wrote a bunch of jokes making fun of Olivia Grace, saying she looked like Jim Norton if he ate all the pancakes, and then that bitch didn't show up.
She didn't show up. I think I remember her saying, if I go, Erickson's just gonna roast the shit out of me.
Or
So
it was fun though.
It have to go.
Did Hennigan do a set?
Hennigan did a set, and he did very well. He just made fun of the audience and said he didn't give a fuck because he was Doug Stanhope's manager.
Yeah, write about what you know.
That's the same set I've seen him do.
Yeah, that's the same thing he says at breakfast.
Just to you, Andy.
Yeah, just to me. Boy, I went through that first beer pretty quick on this Ash Wednesday.
Well, that's what Jesus would have wanted you to do.
Well, I got him here too. I don't know if you can see my little Jesus.
Oh, buddy Jesus.
Yep. Yeah.
I think asking someone if they can see my little Jesus is what got a lot of Catholic priests in trouble.
Yeah. Anthony Weiner could have used that shtick. I think that I guess there'd be a lot of ladies to disagree, and I think you should solicit before sending a dick pic, but put a little effort into it, Come on.
But dress it like Jesus?
Yeah, if you got that, if you got a little extra hair around, Fuck yeah, put a little wig on your dick and a little beard and a robe on it. Hell yeah. What woman wouldn't, what church lady wouldn't enjoy a guy sending a dick picture if he made it look like Jesus Christ himself? Fuck yes.
Oh, Andy, you're talking about sending a dick pic to a female.
Or anyone in general. I'm just saying, back in the day when Craigslist had an itinerary, a bunch of dicks you could look at and study different dicks. Not because you want to suck them. That's your competition, Not
my competition. Our dick, my dick and the Craigslist dicks are not trying to go in the same holes. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Not my competition.
I know, but it's like it's just... Anyway, but I'm just saying.
The other day, I took a nice hot bath, and I thought about taking a picture of my dick for the first time because even I was impressed with it. And then I realized I didn't have anybody to send it to. I'd have to just put it on Twitter or something. I don't have a...
That could be your Monday motivation.
I was just going to say the exact same thing. You said that it's been a little tricky lately to keep coming up with those things. You can just start putting pictures of your dick out and just
I'm saving those for when I'm real desperate.
Basically, every toy I had as a kid, those would be accessories for dressing my dick up these days. The G.I. Joe helmet, perfect. Put a little scar on the side of it, or maybe you just have one anyway. Utilize what you got.
With the Kung Fu
Stretch Armstrong holding on to it.
Fuck yeah. Get a little miniature Stretch Armstrong so it just looks like your dick is massive. Like, holy shit. Stretch Armstrong just keeps wrapping around. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Things are happening in the truck.
He's getting asked to... I think the homeless people are asked to leave the Walmart parking lot about this time.
Walmart lets you stay the night and everything.
Yeah.
I'm parked out near the semis, but I'm in Jerome, Idaho, and we're 127 miles south of Boise, where we're headed. And I go, well, I'll just pull in, like in the lot here, facing the sun, so I get some of that reflected light. It's about 82 in the car right now, and I've got everything trying to block the light. But by the time I realized my problems here, I couldn't start the car and move it and everything. So
your color looks good.
Thanks.
It looks like the color of somebody you'd find under a river. Like, oh shit! Oh fuck! In a river. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. It was emotional. I cried a lot at that Ash Wednesday service, so I'm,
a little spent.
Yeah, a little worn out, spiritually spent.
It happens.
Yeah. That's why I don't bring cash to church, because you get too emotional to carry money. It's like buying a car, I might bring some cash, but I'm going to walk off of here for a couple hours, and I'll be back maybe. Fuck that.
A cooling off period from church.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Let me go get my checkbook.
It's awkward. You try to go and get your donation back when you have regrets after. Hey, I put a 20 in there, and I really shouldn't have. Can I get that back?
That's why a preacher always sets up in the back of the room after the service. It's just a fucking, it's like a merch table. Make sure you tithe and everything. Heavy-handed handshake from above. I'm not.
He's the guy they go to when they go to get their manager to make the deal complete. Let me go talk to the manager. We'll set you up.
I used to. I would put in a ticket. I don't go to church anymore, but this is back a long time ago when I was putting an effort in or whatever. And I would do the morning football games, and I would have a little radio that I would go listen to in the bathroom. A lot of Episcopalians don't use the toilet during the service, but I hung out there.
Well, they couldn't because you were in there listening to the radio.
Right, but I would get a betting slip, $5 4-game parlay on the games and the point spreads, but I would kind of get a gist of it. It wasn't going to work out, and I'd have 2 or 3 tickets, and I would put the loser ticket in the collection plate. Just like they do, I wanted to give a little false hope. Like, okay, this might work out. Oh, the fucking Colts. No.
The Colts.
Forgot about the Colts.
Oh, shit.
One time I accidentally put there was a Rams comeback and they won the game, and I put I was wanted to break into the church after hours to get the winning ticket. I guess I could have gone to the AA meeting early Monday morning, but fuck that.
The sad part about that is they were probably used to you putting the losers in there, and they just threw it away. God damn it, this guy again threw it away. Nobody got that money.
Yeah, I had a lot more faith in Bernie Kosar than I did Jesus back then. Both of them were costly. Anyway, you guys Bernie Kosar fans? It got real quiet all the time.
I'm feeling the burn.
Yeah. Oh, you're feeling the burn. That's what, little burn on my head, I could Bernie didn't take any shit, and Pete fucking, I like Bernie's chances. He's a fucking, like a biting dog, don't pet him.
I'm still talking about Bernie Kosar.
Oh, yeah.
Good old number 19.
Yeah. You know what? He should have been a crying meme back in the day, because I remember that guy crying a few times, and I got choked up. I guess it was kind of like the sports version of Little House on the Prairie, We all hoped it would have worked out for the Browns, but it just isn't gonna,
Yeah.
I don't think they had memes back then, Andy. Where the fuck would you share it?
Yeah.
On a piece of paper at school?
Yeah.
He draws it on a piece of paper and drops it in the collection plate.
Well, I think, how about historical memes? I think Kennedy would be a good one.
Jack Ruby.
Yeah. Why isn't that a meme? That's some great slow-mo action and.
No, there is one.
My Monday.
Don't lose your head.
Yeah. And then people could go, this is totally like my Monday or whatever.
Today's like my own personal Kennedy assassination.
Grassy, no, I don't know, but I'm late for work.
Yeah. You ever have that top down in Dallas kind of Monday?
I guess it depends on what your theme is. Mine would be like, where's my guy on the grassy knoll?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to
How
get
about
there early, you know?
the Twin Towers should be a meme. Is that not a meme, or is it just like people are still waiting?
A little taboo.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, I'm having a total breakdown, and then
Yeah, when you fail for no reason, it's just like a shot of Building 7 coming down.
you know, we can't laugh at these things now. You know,
My life.
we got to laugh at the last 9/11 because the next one we're not ready for, and it's not even. You know, if we're still not laughing at the last one, what are we going to do when the Trump
Trump one.
Trump's 9/11? I do hope the coronavirus works out. You know,
Spreads around
How
the
so?
lot.
Well, I mean, I don't have money for a nursing home, and it's just supposed to kill older people. So, and older people in America don't have health insurance for the most part. And it's like, why not just speed up the process? And you know,
I've had this upper respiratory thing for about 3 weeks now, and
Yeah.
since I don't go anywhere, I don't even have any hope that it's fucking coronavirus. I'm just sick.
yeah,
Otherwise, I'd be
I've
like,
started a pen pal situation in China.
Well, you're hoping to get an infected letter?
licking the stamp.
Yeah, I'm eating the stamp like it's LSD.
Hugs and sneezes from America. Yeah, that's what we send each other. Hugs and sneezes.
Yeah, I love that Iranian footage. That guy, they're doing a hey, look at awareness, coronavirus awareness show, and the one guy sweating profusely on the left side actually had the coronavirus. So his public appearance was actually kind of a bummer as far as spreading the disease goes. You know, large room of people and a camera crew and such. But there's a lot of old Iranians too.
I remember watching all the footage from that tsunami in Thailand and everywhere, and just thinking, wow, this is just the biggest mass devastation I've ever seen, and seeing all the bodies wash up. And I was fascinated with it. And then it's like 30,000 people died or whatever. I was like, what a fucking bummer. That's not even a drop in the bucket. I thought it was going to take a big, significant chunk out of us.
Well, that's like a Jonestown. What was Jonestown again? I think that tsunami was like 4 Jonestowns.
Oh yeah,
Jonestown was like 900.
Yeah, so fuck yeah, that tsunami was nature's.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, that was nature's Columbine. That tsunami.
It wasn't bad. I'm not I mean, it was a good tsunami. I just was hoping the numbers were going to be higher is all.
Yeah. I mean, if it were a tsunami that just infected a place or affected a place you didn't really like at all, like, I can't think of that place, but there's got to
Kansas?
Birmingham, Alabama, it's like, oh, fuck, Birmingham, Alabama was devastated. Well, shit, let's move on, let's not get caught up in what might have been.
It's important to look forward.
Yeah. As Martin Luther King used to say, there's a lot of assholes in Birmingham. They didn't. That's what Jesse Jackson told me when we were just hanging out.
Yeah. And a tsunami in Birmingham would be like a water cannoning the white people.
Yeah.
So there'd be some justice in that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what, when for instance, when there's a lot of luxury homes that get burned up as a block, It's like they built up in the wooded area, away from all services, in these big giant homes, and when they fire jumps on one of those big homes, it's like a lot of people are going, oh no, and I'm like, like watching that Daredevil's rocket. It's like,
oh shit.
Mad Mike. We got to address the Mad Mike situation because
I appreciate you sharing that, man, because that was not on my radar at all until I saw you shared that. That was fucking hilarious. I
consider myself to have too much empathy, and when I saw that, and then I saw it, could you not? I mean, I laughed. I didn't. You know.
I laughed when I saw the parachute come up off on Ascension. I was already cracking up. I was like, "Oh, you're fucked, buddy."
Yeah. Isn't that why you have the second parachute packed? Which he didn't, I guess, right? Don't you pack 2 parachutes?
You had a lot of faith in that one parachute.
Yeah.
I think I watched that probably 30 times and then listened to the crowd response a bunch of times. There's that one guy who was standing there and he just kind of seemed like he knew it was going to happen. So he didn't really overreact. And then there were a couple ladies who went, oh no. Like, really? You know, what did you expect would happen?
I thought I heard a couple kids in there, which I also thought was, come on, kids, let's go watch Uncle Mikey kill himself.
Yeah, I'm YouTubing live and from my backyard. Hey, a bunch of neighbors have gathered and I just put a rope up in a tree.
Let's all count down to when I jump. Everybody ready? 10.
It's okay, kids. This gun's only got 1 bullet in it. I mean, I think what he did is he just upped the game on everybody's suicide videos, you know. His suicide. Yeah. What's the time on a TikTok? I mean, he could have fit his suicide in a TikTok.
his suicide is a gift.
One of the fun, you know, it's like a lot of shit gets you down these days. You know, the system seems to be fucking rigged against us. No health insurance, impending virus. But that fucking guy lifted my spirits.
Oh, it was fucking. I watched it, looped it over and over again, analyzed it, fucking laughed. It was great. It was the last time I watched something that good when that guy stole the plane and then looped it and crashed it into it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that was good.
The thing I can compare it to, I forget remember it was like a video, but it came in, it was like a fucking record. Like a DVD kind of a thing, but it was a big record, and it was like one of the early things.
Laser disc?
Yeah, like a laser disc, and we had Psycho. And when he said something, and then he plonked his mother in the head with a shovel, it was something funny, Anthony Perkins, and he said it, and it was hilarious. And then he clonked his mother in the head. I think that was the one, or maybe it might have been the remake, but it was hilarious. And I watched it over and over because that technology could just go back to it and watch it again. But I did that with Rocket Man, and it was hilarious. It was like it got funnier each time almost. And I'm sorry to the family, you know, thoughts and prayers, you know, good luck to us, you know, what's the rest of the family named, you know? Launch and Larry and you know, Dynamite Dave, you know.
You know that motherfucker. Dude, that guy probably had a terminal disease and just had insurance out the ass. The joke's on everybody else. He fucking did it right. Nobody
Yeah. How many times
did silent?
He was one take, you know. What did Evel Knievel? He spent a lifetime trying to get that footage. And what does Mad Mike do? He fucking hires a local crew. And fucking, you know, how many views has that guy got? You know, I mean, he's internet famous. You know, can he parlay it into working gigs? I don't know, but
not now. Why? What's the point now?
Well, there's other footage of it too, because in the one that I watched over and over, you can see a guy with the tripod set up with another camera. So I'm waiting for the DVD. I hope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you know,
the director's cut.
Yeah.
It might have been a failed rocket launch, but it was a successful pilot.
That was horrible.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah, you know, Matthew McConaughey's donning that wig going, I could play Rocket Man right now. You know, it's going to be a great role for somebody. Start with the ending, you know, like, let's cut back,
like,
you know.
That seems like a good role for like a Richard Dreyfuss comeback. Mad Mike was about his size, you know.
Yeah, but Richard Dreyfuss, I'd have to see him grope a woman to see if he's still an active player.
If he still got the right stuff.
I think Mr. Opus got soft meat too. I can't remember. Didn't he? Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Let's not spread rumors. Hey, how do you think if Harvey Weinstein's already having heart problems before he gets locked up in the cell, just wait till he starts getting his fucking. It sounds like he's got more of a vagina than a dick, and I think that I think pride got in the way of his defense team using that as like, wait a minute, you said he raped you, and then you said his dick looks like a vagina. You know,
that was the point.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't have a real dick, you know, if you got a more of a glorified clitoris, then I guess, you know,
glorified clitoris would make a great name for a punk band.
I think it was a band in Russia back in the day.
I see Erickson writing that down already. So.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no. I wish they would have aired that. You know, I would have watched that whole thing or whatever. And you know, I'm glad he got some jail time because it's not because I want. Well, I mean, he's an asshole and he hurt a lot of people and he's a fucking ultimate predator. But it's just funny, you know. Whether he does a year in jail or 6 years, it's still hilarious. I can't hear anybody.
Everybody stop
yeah,
talking.
You know what? Hey, I want to cut this off and do a new call and reboot my modem because I'm having fucking problems again.
Oh,
so
Andy is too.
There you go.
You've upset
All right, so
Right.
there's going to be a lot of ash on his forehead when we see him again. I'm going to hang up and I'll call you guys back in 30 seconds.
All right, see you then.
That's for sure. I think this is why hardcore tuner in viewers. I think this is why hardcore viewers tune in.
I like the way you said it the first time.
See, that's what Bloomberg needs to do. It's like, while you're saying shit in your fucking reptilian head, can't you work your way back to the hamster wheel? That's what I'd try. I'd say, look, man, I got a piece of $1 billion advice for you, and I'll need to see the $1 billion first, you fucking reptilian cunt.
So you were Bloomberging right there.
Yep, a little Bloomberging. So that's what the kids call it when they're doing that forced white people dance in a theater.
So earlier, when this was all cutting out and stuff, I didn't know I thought it just was happening here, and I was it's hot. It's really fucking hot in the car, and then I'm like, there's a lag, and I'm not able to really participate because I'm hearing what you guys are saying. But like, there's such a lag. I'm going, just sit here, and then it doesn't look like there's technical problems. But then when you said there was a problem on your end, all right, cool, we'll turn it off. And I go, fuck, Casey, I'm rebooting my system. I get so hot in here. She goes, hey, why don't you put up that big sunscreen that we put up in front of the windshield, you know, where we live in Arizona? And that has cooled the car down 20 degrees since I did that. I mean, we now look like we're living in the car because I got my other thing up. But it did, yeah. So I'm back, guys.
That's
so
great.
I feel like this is a real sign of climate change here. You know, it's February. You're in Idaho, and you know, are you keeping the windows up because of the coronavirus?
Andy, I'm with the windows up.
Is there an adult that can open a window? I mean, I can't leave my dog in a car when it's hot, you know, without ethical concerns.
Yeah, there's a concerned mom who's going to put her elbow through the back window and get Shaylee and Tracy out of there pretty soon.
Hero.
Yeah, Shaylee, I love that your problem was there was too much sun and heat in the car and you are from fucking Arizona. Like, if only there was a way we could think of something to do about this.
Didn't this
like 10 things to thwart that problem, and I didn't even think about it until Tracy goes. She takes her headphones off because she can't stand listening to us when we podcast, and she goes, "Why don't you just put up the shade?"
Now they know how we feel all the time when ladies are doing that, you know. Hey, welcome to our hell, Tracy. Yeah. It's like a pitch that bothers your ears, right? I heard my wife let loose with a little. It's like bat shrieking. My wife let loose with some bat shrieking before she went to her cult meeting because like I said, I always excuse myself to go up somewhere else because I don't like to see people dressed up like pilgrims. And then I hear shrieking going, they don't bite. And I go, what? Because I can understand a little shrieky. I can understand the notes or whatever. And I go, what? And she goes, they don't bite. The people who picked me up, we just study the Bible. Like, well, what do I say? I didn't respond.
You'd be better off if they were biting you.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, I would maybe. Yeah, like let them up if they're biters. Look. I have no. I'm sorry if my. I'm sorry that people.
Sean.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with biters. As long as they don't try to bite me, I don't have a problem with their biting. As long as it's cool. But if you just knock on people's doors and lunge at them and bite people, I'm against that. Or talk to them about your religion.
Give you pamphlets and stuff.
Same thing. Exact fucking thing.
Yeah.
Well, there's pamphlets here. I don't need to ask for them. I mean, I could stay up on the watchtower.
Bring them right in the garage.
I think next time you should have them hanging up on your backboard, on your
some watchtowers.
Oh yeah.
I want to be disfellowshipped without joining. I know you can do that at the YMCA. You just show up.
Just tell them. Isn't there a specific number of spaces in heaven in that religion? Just tell them you don't think you'll make the final cut, but you want to be a part of the team.
There
down
are.
Here.
That's a miss. Well, there are. Those are the VIP slots. You got to have a laminate.
It's 144,000 VIPs.
Or as Bernie Sanders, 144,000. All of heaven, 144,000.
What a weird place to start doing your Bernie Sanders impression. Like you were like, at some point during this podcast, I'm going to do my Bernie Sanders impression.
I was all Mike Bloomberg in that premise.
I thought that was a little forced, Andy. I think you got to kind of ease in.
Andy was waiting for us to say a number, any number. He didn't care.
Oh, Jesus. You got me. Totally. I've been working on it for a long time. Well, listen, you cocksuckers.
Hopefully you'll have 4 years to perfect it.
Amen.
I'm still talking about Bernie co-star.
Nobody, listen. So 144,000 people can get in heaven. It's like overbooked. For the Jovies, overbooked heaven. But there are a lot of Airbnbs. You'll be able to Airbnb space in heaven. That's the word I'm getting from the Jehovah's Witness situation.
So
heaven's going to be down here.
Will be able to visit.
Heaven will be
you can stay in like an Airstream that's heaven adjacent.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't be heaven unless it had if it had a bathroom. I think that we got to draw a line on what
Airstreams are nice. That's
I kind of that's the retirement plan here is we're just gonna Airbnb the Armageddon space when they're I don't know though. There's
the door.
Well, there's going to be 100 and some thousand openings when I don't know, assuming those people are even on Earth, like the Jehovah's Witness religion's been around a long time. So they're only going to need a couple of people when the Armageddon happens. It's already it's already like Epstein Island up there. It's a bunch of Jehovah. They don't let women up there. So it's just a bunch of the elders and they let kids that die early. Kids that die young, they go right up to Jehovah's Witness heaven. So it's basically Epstein Island up there. It is. It's at no. I mean, I'm
sounds-
reading up on the Watchtower, and they got kids and elders, and they just have no clothes. I mean, it's room temperature.
So it's naked old guys and boys and little boys and girls in heaven right now.
Yeah. No, they put lions and sheep on the cover of the Watchtower as a distraction.
Or maybe it's a metaphor.
If they put old dudes fucking kids, if they put old dudes fucking children, a lot of people would slam doors in their face.
Wait, are you sure you didn't pick up a NAMBLA pamphlet?
Well, I'm an insider, yo. Not in the sex cult. I just, I can read the literature.
You have access.
You know, it says too hot. Yeah, Awake magazine. It says too hot for, almost ready or whatever.
Is that describing the children?
Too young to be so hot. Wait, no, we can't call it that.
It's actually called Awake magazine. It's one of their titles, but it's the full title is Awaken to Young Boys in Heaven. I'm gonna try this edible here. I don't know. I mean, they do have a pedophile scandal there, and it's kind of hard to weigh it up against the Catholics. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the Catholics have a better reimbursement scale now.
Well, they've had enough practice. I think the Jehovah's Witnesses and Catholics going up against each other in pedophilia is like Murray State going up against Duke. Maybe once they could beat them, but Duke's gonna fucking slaughter them every time. The Catholic Church is unparalleled.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
they've got a great infrastructure, man. They've got it built all the way through.
No, wait, you're talking about here in heaven, because in heaven these Jehovah's Witnesses seem to have it really good the Jehovah's standpoint.
Absolutely, but the Jehovah's Witnesses do have a pedophile problem. I don't know why I did that in air quotes. It's an actual problem. But they
don't have a problem with it. But I do.
I feel like I shouldn't have done that. I feel like that was a mistake.
Allegedly.
I just knocked on this guy's door and ran away.
Sam Tripoli just got a clue. I just gave him a clue, and I'm going to be fucked. I'm definitely now part of it.
How's that basement pizza, asshole? I hear the sauce is young boys all over your dick, you filthy animal.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the one thing rich white people can agree on is fucking kids. The whole thing, Bill Gates, the whole lot of them. They're like, hey, this is forbidden fruit, huh?
There's a new rich Epstein guy now too happening right now. Did you guys hear about this? What is his name? He's a fashion designer. Peter Nygaard or something like that. They found a bunch of
pretty much anyone who flies kids to an island should be questioned.
He's got kids. Yeah, he had fucking.
I mean, unless you're going as a family to Hawaii, no.
It's basically like this. You should never be with any kid that isn't your kid. That's just ever, right? Is there any reason to do it?
Kentucky man law.
What? I don't know.
Kentucky man law, you don't fuck outside of your own trailer. And you don't vote for anybody but that fucking turtle. Pump as many drugs into the race horses as you can. Those are their three things I know about Kentucky. And Ashley Judd is not as hot as she was 5 tournaments ago. Poor
Kentucky man. Oh, there's a bonus one. It's a baker's trio.
Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to remark on women's appearances, but man, that Elizabeth Warren is fucking hot, huh? I like her. I think she's a sensible den mother. She could.
Absolutely.
She's the type of guy. She could be the best. I wish her and Bernie were married. Like she could be the wife that ruined all Bernie's crazy fun shit.
That'd be a great sitcom.
I already put the great impression. Yeah.
Bernie comes home from work at the White House with all these crazy ideas, and then she's cooking dinner like Edith Bunker and fucking Bernie.
I'll tell you the problem.
Oh, Bernie!
We got here.
See, Andy, this is where you blew it. If you'd have saved your Bernie impression for the sitcom with Elizabeth Warren, it would have been perfect.
I didn't even know I had one until I heard numbers, and then I thought I did. It's like any white guy thinks they can do a Jew impression when they get numbers. Ah, there he goes.
Andy's mic.
Oh shit! Right now you're doing a great Andy impression.
I tipped over Jesus riding the mic, just like Mad Mike. Yeah, but I hope you can put Mad Mike on this. And it's like it's just not enough heroes. Not enough people calling their own shot anymore. What happened to the Babe Ruth spirit?
It is funny that if you've seen the documentary Rocket Man about that guy, that like nobody did try to stop him, really. It's like, Dad, you can't be launching yourself into space. You're going to die. And eventually,
he's not married to Elizabeth Warren, obviously. What are you going to do with that rocket, Bernie?
Bernie's going to build a rocket and go to the moon where they have free health care and free college.
One thing I didn't learn about Mad Mike is what was his mission? Where was he going?
He wanted to take pictures of the lack of a curvature in the Earth.
Well, he says actually that he just wanted to know which way it was. He wanted to see for himself whether it was flat or spherical. So
it's a shame. It's a shame nobody ever gifted him one of those fucking things that float up and take pictures.
I read in an article that he also said that gravity was not real. So at least one of his fucking missions he discovered the truth about.
Yeah,
he didn't get up high enough to look at the curve, but that's no gravity is real.
If he ever decided anything about round or flat Earth, the last experiment he ran had to prove flat, because the last thing he hit was the flattest part. So it had to seem real flat to him at the end,
Yeah. I wonder if he was,
his last thought is, this appears to be very flat.
Yeah.
He took being a flat earther to the most literal sense you could possibly do.
You know what it is?
Well, I'm the flattest.
Yeah. It feels like it's the opposite of Grizzly Man. Like, we've already got him getting eaten by the bear footage, so let's just build back and make a fucking hilarious movie.
So wait, there was a documentary about that dude?
Yeah, it's great. It's called Rocket Man.
All right, I'll have to watch that.
I think it's on Netflix.
It was not on my radar. I knew nothing about that guy.
Wait, I think that's about that's about Elton John, right?
Well, yeah.
Well, there's also one with Harlan Williams too, and I've already seen that one a lot. So yeah, that was good.
That one also ends in a fiery crash flat on the earth.
Oh, Leonard Maltin over here.
His color's improving.
We've had these Daredevil guys. I mean, this is a different kind of thing, because in the 70s it was Evel Knievel and Robbie Knievel and stuff like that. And it's the same thing. It's like everyone in their sphere of influence, they've been trying to tell him no forever, and they know it's just he's going to do it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the difference is the difference is with Mad Mike is that if you watch the documentary, at least Evel Knievel could ride a motorcycle. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is just like, out of the blue, he's like, I'm building a rocket and I'm getting on it. It's like, dude, I'm not sure you could build a birdhouse. What are you doing? Like, this is not a...
At least he followed through is the main thing, I think, about it. He folled through with it.
That rocket bike that Evel Knievel was supposed to go across Snake River, which we had just passed over, he knew it wasn't going to make it. He knew, and he still fucking let him go.
Well, he had a lot of tax problems at that time in his life.
Listen, I think if you take a close look at Mad Mike, you might see something up, because I don't think that fucking parachute detached immediately. Like, he threw that shit out the window.
The Snake River Canyon.
Yeah.
the parachute deployed on before the he didn't hit the apex and that thing went out.
No, he was still attached to the rail that he was launching off of when that fucking parachute came off.
You're telling me that guy didn't think the engineer come on, what did he do? He repaired fucking ice cream trucks or something before he got that gig? He fucking built it just kind of yeah, I think we can do it. That guy didn't know that thing was gonna fucking. No way was gonna get close.
You know what? That's one of the most interesting parts to me is that a person can be smart enough to build a rocket, even to do what that one did. But they're still like a flat earther.
Well, there were some tweakers. There were some tweakers 40 miles from here who were flying garbage bag hot air balloons from their meth lab. Science, bitch.
Smart. That's one thing I know about methamphetamine.
How does that connect? They're probably doing that.
It's it's like a rocket can't be. I don't know. It seems like it's like.
Wait, you don't think a rocket's harder than a hot air balloon?
With a garbage
well, I hope Mad Mike didn't have a meth lab on his property.
Whoa!
Mad Mike's meth lab was probably raided shortly after the rocket hit the ground.
Yeah.
You know what the Mad Mike footage reminded me of is that scene in Stripes where I think it was John Larroquette was telling him to fire off the missiles, and the guy goes, "What coordinates, sir?" And he's like, "Coordinates?
Just fire it off."
Yeah, that's what Mad Mike's. The spirit of Mad Mike. I mean, it fucking gets you. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to idolize that son of a bitch, and I hope so, because we got a lot of people here and not a lot of food anymore.
Oh,
well,
shit.
It's going to be the conspiracy theorists who are going to say, see, he was going to prove something, and that's why they killed him.
Well, there's also a lot of people who think that Mad Mike
too
was
close.
Yeah, a lot of people think Courtney Love might have murdered him, but I don't see how that's even possible that she could have done that. It makes no sense. But that's how these conspiracies get going, and she was there. She was there at the launch. That was her voice you heard. That's why a lot of people said, "Is that cake?" And they said, "No, that's whole."
Oh
yeah,
that was great.
A little oil on this weed didn't hurt nothing.
Shaylee, I like that you said the mechanic or the engineer, his last job was fixing ice cream trucks, because it would be funny if Mad Mike shoots off into the rocket and that at the point he goes to hit the parachute button, he presses it and it just starts playing the fucking ice cream truck song. It's like, oh fuck, I hooked up the wrong thing.
Wait, you know who he should have consulted with is the pyrotechnics guy with Great White. It's like, because I think that guy should have been launching rockets outdoors to begin with.
That was really his passion.
Him and Mad Mike would be like, shit, I'm looking for a pyrotechnics guy. And this guy's like, I'm trying to recover from burning up 100 people.
Imagine how much happier that would be for the first responders if upon impact, ice cream sandwiches just showered out of the back of that rocket.
Talk about a bomb pop.
Oh!
I thought it would be less funny when I saw the guy, but when I saw the guy, I was like, no, it's funnier. It's like
it's still pretty funny.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be something that'll come out, and I'll feel bad about this, but I can't imagine what that would be.
It was even a steam-powered rocket too, wasn't it? Wasn't that part of the thing? Which makes it adorable in the documentary, because it's like, wait, you're trying to go to space, and the first thing you think of is steam. That's the way to get there. Like, no.
Well, I do think that's going to make it easier for the first responders to find the body.
Because it won't be very far away.
Well, if he was using jet fuel, imagine the mess he would have made. But that's the thing about the Mike footage is it's like, and then you see it and it's like, poof. It's like, oh, he must have been using steam.
Hey, maybe that's how he got the permit. He'll fire.
Right, yeah. Just using steam. Okay, you won't blow up. That's cool.
Go try and buy rocket fuel somewhere. See what happens.
Yeah, you
Now
get
go
put
try
on a
and get-
list for sure.
Yeah.
go get-
The only
go
thing that
get
could
5
dampen the news on Mad
$100
Mike is if there were 8 other people in the rocket with him.
Well,
No, this is still funny. Wait,
maybe
no,
it would have worked
with him.
better.
His beloved daughter, who went and watched him do rocket launches at all the rocket launches and hung out and shit, was with him. Oh, well, fuck. I guess we lost that being funny now.
Yeah. So Mad Mike, he needed a Gianna.
Oh, hey. Oh, shit.
Too soon.
Well, being a steam rocket, it would have probably been better if he had another employee because he was trying to fly the rocket and shovel coal at the same time. And it's just too hard. You can't steer and fucking...
Yeah.
Fucking
Well,
Himself on an intercom.
I think it's smart to
More
put it off.
power!
I think it's smart to put off Mad Mike's memorial for a month so people can kind of gather themselves. Because we're all going to want to be there, you know?
You can't cry till you're done laughing.
That's what the memorial is.
Oh, shit. I'll never cry then.
Yeah. Every time I hear Rocket Man, I'm going to think of Rocket Man, Mad Mike, and his, he was known as Daredevil back in the day too. You know? So he was eating bugs. You know, I feel like Mad Mike would be alive today if he was just on Fear Factor, just once. Did you guys notice the daffodils?
I was focusing more on the fact that you've dropped your microphone 3 times during this podcast. What's over there?
I always have a major glitch right before we get to it. Like I filled up a beer, overfilled it, spilled all over shit, tipped over a bowl of weed, spilled the beer on the deck, and then I just got up to rinse that off and then knocked over my mic and everything right before we started.
And action.
Yeah. And then it's like, God damn it, where's my Bible? I got to get set here, man. This is not an amateur production. We have thousands of people who line up to see this each week. That's actually
turns out you've got the Bible under your chair and
we definitely
keep it from wobbling.
Yeah, we definitely have Tom Steyer-esque numbers.
Hey, we just need to get to Klobuchar by summertime, dude.
I have some. I mean, here, I know we don't want to get political, but that dude needs to just like fucking be the hippie. Like all he should talk about is the climate. Anytime anybody talks about anything, he should say, "Fuck it, man. We're about ready to burn up anyway."
Either Steyer or Bloomberg could do way more good for everything if they just used their money on supporting the cause or whoever the other possibly electable person is, rather than pretending it's them. So they're just throwing it all in so that their egos can be stroked and they can see themselves all over the place and on TV. Either one of those guys could spend their $1 billion.
I like how they put them. They're both short little fellas.
Get behind
and
Warren.
They put them both on the end. Yeah, I know. Both these little fucks on the end. They're like little billionaire bookends. And it's like, you know how you start making this country better is one of the lesser candidates, like say a Pete Buttigieg, he ain't gonna win. It's like pull out a fucking gun and shoot the 2 billionaires in the head, like Joker, like fucking Joker. God damn it, we need, this fucking, this is the shittiest revolution ever. This fucking sucks, and we like Buttigieg could just fucking go on some rant. He's already copying. He's ripping off Obama like all those comics ripped off Hedberg's cadence. You watch the two of them. He's trying to do his cadence, and he's like, just be original once in your life and rip off the movie Joker and shoot the bookends. Wasn't he right by one of them? Shoot that one in the head, and then walk down. Let Bernie scramble, and then maybe shoot the other billionaire, and then let Biden scramble. It'd just be funny to see Biden scramble. And then shoot him in the ass or something.
You could grab the billionaire that was next to you and put the gun to his head and act like you were holding him as a hostage and then just kill him at the end anyway and be like, I was going to do that the whole time.
And these are all just rape fantasies like Bernie had when he wrote up them essays. I like to come home and I like to jack off in her face. She wants me to rape her, but I'm not giving in. There you go.
It's getting better, dude.
Yeah, it's getting better. You got to use your hands a little bit. I like, I just like the fact that he gets so fucking red. He's like the James Inman of politics. Can't you just, smile and act like it's cool for a second?
Yeah.
Like just a fucking moment of
to put out there, Andy, is it's not cool.
Well, look, hey,
remember we didn't used to talk about politics for 15 minutes?
But we're not talking about politics. We're talking about laughing off shit. Like, Bernie needs to laugh off, just a little bit. It's like, I was molested by a handicapped guy. It's kind of funny or whatever. Like, hey, we got we got viruses. We got, no health insurance. But, hey, it's like nobody's funny in politics. Just be funny for a second. It's kind of engaging, and you can be serious about everything, and you can have an edge to it. Like Chris Rock would have a great political fucking, he would be great in a debate. We want to talk about that. We got people, it's like.
Don't do it, Chris Rock.
I know. I'm just, like, oh, no.
You're going to undo all the positive vibes you have from your Bernie impression, dude. Don't do it.
Not going to. I'm just saying.
But yeah, you're right.
Deliver a thing and then a punchline or something. It can be serious, but it's like Bernie's always wow. So wow. Hey, peace be with you.
None of them are any fun.
That's code
for sure.
That's code. If Shaylee doesn't answer back, I'll throw him out of the church. Let me just say this again, sir.
Just to remind you to quit talking about politics.
Peace be with you. He's not Episcopalian. Get him out. Run him. Throw him out. Throw him out. I don't take it too easy on him. Throw him out like we used to back in the day.
Why is he in the bathroom?
I know. Chad Shank will be in his underground bunker with no fucking when the fucking the climate fucking change and the fucking the hordes of fascists take over Bisbee and the fucking warlords, and Shank will be like, I don't care about the politics of this shit. Just leave me alone. I'm just smoking weed in my underground bunker, hiding from the fascists.
Well, I have ammo.
Whenever Chad comes out, the first thing he sees is Castle Rock Kenny stripped down to wearing like a loincloth and like a Mad Max style.
I feel like Chad Shank is set up like I feel like Shank is like the mayor or the warden in Shawshank Redemption. He'll be okay, At the very end, they're pounding on his door and they're gonna bust him. Nope. Chad's out of here. Warden's gone. Can't do anything about the warden.
He got away.
Oh. Yep. That's a great way. Andy Dufresne. Peace be with you, Greg Shaley.
And also with you. You're
there
supposed to
go. Yeah. You used to have to placate a Catholic woman.
Yeah.
Wasn't your wife a Catholic?
No, my mom was.
No, but Erickson.
Yeah,
well, he
that's
knows
what he meant. Oh, yeah, no. No, I thought you were
Oh.
talking to Shaylee too. No, she's not Catholic.
Oh, okay.
She's just whatever she's evangelical Christian.
I never thought I would be a Jesus advocate, but it just seems like I got to now. Like nobody else is, he's lost a lot of support in this house, and I'm trying to bring it back from nothing now.
It's like liking Pearl Jam again because nobody does anymore.
Yeah, but if you never did in the beginning,
fucking
what's
better's
the point
great.
now?
Yeah.
Don't start now.
Yeah. In your face. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Jesus to win a big game and go, motherfucker. Told you Jesus was going to knock that fucking Jova out.
Hey, Andy, I want you to reapply the ash with all the pamphlets that you're going to burn. I think you're reading too much of that shit.
Oh, you soak it up,
I know.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I go hide in the bathroom.
I think this is a good thing because on the off chance that the Jehovah's Witnesses are right and we all die in the apocalypse, we can all just glom onto Andy and then he can talk us into the party. You know what I mean? Like we get to the gate and it's like Andy will know enough to make it sound like we should have been in there. Yeah. And me and my four friends. Come on, these guys are with me.
So let me get this straight, Erickson. You think that Chad and I want to accompany you and Andy to a party, naked boys and old men? Is that what?
Yeah.
Is that? I'll say right now, I'm gonna.
What, you have a problem with that?
I'm fine here.
Heaven is
I'm
a
gonna say
heaven is
Idaho
a place.
rather
Heaven
than
is
do
a
that.
place on earth, yo.
Erickson, is that your?
Oh.
I mean, when you say it that way, it doesn't sound as great, but yeah, I think that basically was my idea.
Well, I think Sandusky had that idea too.
I was in the army with the Jehovah's Witness, and he kept trying to preach it on me all the time to where it was annoying. And finally, I was trying to be nice, trying to be a diplomat, and I'd just be like, no, I'm not interested. But then he kept leaning on me. Finally, the only thing I was like, did you forget that you also told me about the 3 email accounts you have so that you can fuck other soldiers' wives behind your wife's back? I go, no, if I'm going to get in this cult, I'm not getting with you, motherfucker. You're not going to heaven. I got to find somebody else to get into your cult with.
You would be very good at door knocking. Like you'd be a very effective door, like I don't know what this guy's religion is. I'm just gonna accept it so he doesn't kick the shit out of me.
But you're telling me that if Chad or a guy that looked like Chad knocked on your door and you looked at the people, you would answer the fucking door?
Yeah, no way.
So last night
a door knocker, he would knock on the door and then the presentable kid would come out and he would stand there.
Yeah. Last night, I'm in bed asleep, and I hear a knock on the door, and then and like no, we're in a dead end street, and it's dark and stuff, and my wife's going, "Who is it? Who is it?" And then I can't hear that, but then she's like, "I don't know, you're at the wrong address," and she's like, "You go away, you're all this shit," and it's like and the guy's at the wrong place or whatever, and then I'm like thinking maybe I should get up or whatever. I just tell the dog.
Your wife is dealing with a strange intruder.
Oh shit! What are you? I thought maybe I should bring her a baseball bat or something. I don't know.
But listen, once I wake up, it's very hard to get back to sleep.
Oh wow!
So
you put it down.
So I'm like, see how this plays out.
I ignore the dog wanting to go outside, so my wife will have to do it for the same reason you just said. I don't want to wake fully up.
Right.
I'm not going to ignore a stranger at the fucking door.
Exactly. I don't want to play God here or Jehovah, but and then she tells him to go away, and then I got a bat. I got a little aluminum bat. If I open the door and you have a pamphlet, say, or you're lost or whatever, you'll be like, oh shit, this guy doesn't look like a little league coach. And you leave. You just leave an aluminum bat. But I didn't get up, and she doesn't know where the aluminum bat is. And then she told him to go away, and then she opened the door, and I was like, huh? The dog.
Hey, she opened the door, and Andy was like, this is going to be tough to sleep through.
Yeah. Man, my feet are cold if I get up right now. They're all warm here under the cover.
It definitely worked itself out because there was somebody snoring in my face at 4 a.m. So
you didn't even stay awake for the end of it. You just drifted back off to sleep.
I'm not a hero. I've never claimed to be a first responder.
I think you actually did claim to be a first responder.
Her whole problem started when she opened that door to a stranger a long time ago. Maybe opening the door to a stranger late at night solves the problem. I don't know.
Like Gilligan getting hit on the head twice to get his memory back. So that's how she gets out of her terrible situation. It's just open her door again and get taken.
If I were gonna Monday morning quarterback, I would say, you know what? Opening the door after they're leaving is still a mistake because usually these guys work in teams. Anywho, them Christmas lights should be on if you're gonna, anyway. She could swing the bat, but she'd miss, and then they'd just use it on her, and you don't want to see that. Somebody taking an aluminum bat to a loved one will keep you up all night.
That'd ruin your oatmeal in the morning when you discovered that, right?
Hey, some people are trying to sleep up here.
What was all that pounding?
Consider it.
Yeah, I didn't get a wink.
If you beat her past that religion, I'm coming down there and getting involved in this.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna have to man up eventually. That's why our house has 2 exits. The apocalypse has started. See you later. Out. I'm taking a heart out.
Oh shit!
Fuck this.
Divorce attorney's gonna have a heyday with some of these.
Yeah, you're fucked, bro. Luckily, you don't have anything, so
well, you know
I don't
what?
know that you get anything from you.
Podcasts are all parody anyway.
Yeah,
it's all entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even, actually, I think she's Catholic.
Hyperbole.
We changed the character to a Jehovah because we thought it might appeal to more a youthful audience that they have
Funnier.
on the YouTube.
Yeah, and I mean, in real life, your wife's a dude. I mean, we all know that. That's obvious from the subtext of everything that's been discussed.
Well,
so
she doesn't like to be identified as a dude anymore. And let's get sensitive here. She's a neutral. She is a neutral. You know, that's actually a good term.
She's in neutral.
Yeah, it's a neutral, you know. Try revving the engine. Yeah, all right. And then really the only time having a car in neutral is useful is at a car wash. Or if you're trying to save gas coming down a mountain pass.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, man.
Cheers.
I think we've accomplished a lot today.
Yeah.
Shaylee's got the most fucking, what's that Ed Waters-esque fucking cross on his head? Is that that movie, that guy with that thin mustache?
It's more like a
director.
You're John Waters.
John
yeah,
Waters.
John Waters. It looks like a Manson family hurry up job for sure.
So we all know who not to shoot.
That's what he said.
I'm distracted right now because I just saw 2 gents that look like Amish or Quakers. They got just the beard and no mustache, that thing. And they were walking through the Walmart parking lot, and they go to a minivan, and the minivan's been parked there the whole time I've been here, sweating balls off in this car, and the car's full of women and children.
Maybe they're podcasting.
I don't know what's going on.
Ask them what their numbers are.
And
we can do a swap cast.
Wearing a Bluetooth.
You park here, I'll park there.
Maybe it's more aggressive.
How about a jump my van cast?
Religion swap cast. And if you preach him some of the new gospel, he has their pamphlets.
Well, I'm taking the word of Jehovah and I'm dumbing it down for, I'm dumbing it down even further so that everybody can get it. Because I want more than 144,000 up in heaven. I want it to be bending fire codes like that place that had Great White. I want it to be like, wait, no, we can't allow this many people into here. And like, bullshit, we all got tickets.
Well, you know what they say, once bitten, twice shy.
Yeah, and we got a new pyrotechnics guy. He's working with Mad Mike. You guys ain't going to believe this shit up here.
He's got all the space he needs.
Grab yourselves a little boy. Heaven's got a hell of a fireworks display coming up.
Go ahead and take 2. They're small.
At least there were more than 144,000, but we're YouTubing, vodcasting this back down to earth for all the people who got left behind that didn't quite get into heaven, but keep trying.
We got a Patreon set up. Don't worry.
Yeah. This backdrop ain't buying itself yet,
Oh, fuck.
Oh, man.
I haven't even had a chance to load up the bong, and here we are, almost out of time.
Yeah, I'm almost out of olives.
You're almost out of bandwidth.
I got it fixed now.
It's nice that Shaylee's kind of living. Shaylee's in my world right now. He's in a mobile net van. He's podcasting on the move. Ash,
I think the car broke down, and I had to go buy a new one or sit on the lot until the guy told me one.
A disgruntled shrieker sitting next to him.
Whatever. I swear to God, when Andy was sitting there in front of that vehicle, and then he tilted the thing, and I could see that he was like 3 or 4 feet from people just walking on the bottom. That may be the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire fucking life. God damn, that was funny.
Well, that little gringo was a fucking sight, man.
Yeah.
You know, he was awesome. I wish there was always. I would, you know, I mean, some people don't want the Mexicans to do stuff. I would like it if they were always walking behind me. Like not the tall Mexicans or the ones you see on Narcos. I want like the little ones you see around, you know, like 4 feet tall little fellas. Fucking
you want the guys who carry around play the big bass with like the fucking giant strings, exactly. You know, the fucking mariachi guy.
I would like a little mariachi band, just bigger than dwarf or midget size, because you wouldn't want to have to, you know, give them all them special privileges.
like Little Kiss, but they're a mariachi band instead.
Right.
Yeah. Well, if like they have those big instruments, you'd have to carry them all the time. If you made them too little, you'd have to carry their shit.
That's a good point.
You get a Sherpa, a full-size Sherpa to carry the mariachi band. So we're all going to have slaves in the future. We're all going to be slaves in the future.
Yeah, I was going to say, I might be one of them.
Yeah, somebody's going to have slaves.
But at least, you know, Shank's got his exit plan figured out. I'm going to have to get to the rope. I'm going to have to scramble past the fucking fascist zombie horde and go hang myself.
I think you might be able to sleep through the whole thing. Just stay under the blanket.
Yeah, I'd totally like the beginning of Walking Dead. I'd just wake up fucking a couple of years later. Oh man, how many Xanax did I take?
I remember somebody was at the door, and then I just said fuck it and went back to sleep.
Yeah, I heard some skirmish going on at the door, and I was like, man, where did I leave that last half bar of Xanax? Oh, there it is. A little bit of wine. Shit. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The first part of the apocalypse is going to be the rough part. If you wake up and, you know, it's like being in an accident. If you wake up while it's going on, you're not going to get hurt.
You just go limp?
Yeah, just kind of wake up and like, oh, everything's horrible. Oh, there's nothing left anymore. Well, I guess I'm dating. Hey, now.
On the upside.
Maybe she was one of the 144,000. Maybe she did make the cut. There's certainly blood all over the front steps.
What's that doing outside?
These are all like Ernie's rape fantasies too, of course. What's that?
Yeah, where's my bat?
I got one here too. If anybody, you know, messes with me out on the back deck, or if I, you know, like if I hear a commotion out front, I just shut that door and I wait out here. My God.
Your second exit.
Right. Catch him off guard, you know.
So wait, so now not only is she at the front door without you, but you took the bat as well?
If you go running out to defend somebody with a bat, you may hit them with the bat, or they may take the bat from you and use that bat on.
I like
they're better off, you know.
Oh, if you have it, definitely. I like to picture her like answering the door and like keeping direct eye contact with the guy that she knows is going to murder her. And
why would she do that? She's blind.
She reaches over for the bat where she knows it is in the umbrella stand, and right where it is, her hand just grasps air because for some reason it's not there, you know, and she's like starts to fumble around and feel for it and knocking over the umbrellas. Like, where the fuck
that part is accurate, but her making eye contact doesn't happen anymore. That is 5 years ago.
She can go by the sound.
It's not like a Sarah Sanders situation. She's not looking at you and one eye's just staring off at, you know, at her fucking dead soul or whatever. She's got two eyes that just don't really, you know, it's like if you can't hear, you're not like, you know, you don't need to stare at you. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to put if you're deaf, you don't have to put your head up closer to the speaker, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
So she doesn't even see well enough to see who's at the door.
Exactly. Exactly. What,
So why does she open it to find out who it is? How is that gonna help?
Because nobody else is gonna.
Even during the daylight, unless it's my neighbor lady and I hear her voice, I always make a threat just as a conversation starter. Back the fuck up, you know. That's why I'm not a greeter for the Airbnb. I'm not a host. But generally, if people are at the front door, they're peddling religion, or they're lost, or they're looking to fucking, to rape me. And yeah. Well, yeah, my front door
could be the Amazon guy.
I treat the front door like I'm walking down Skid Row in a city late at night. Like, what the fuck you doing, you motherfucker? I don't think you would have come in here. And then they're like, oh shit, there's a white guy in there, and he sounds like he's got
sounds like a 70-year-old black man.
He sounds like he stole an impression from a black guy.
He does. Yes. Sounds like a white guy doing a Huggy Bear impression.
It is hard to not be a tough white guy and to make threats and sound like a tough white guy without trying to sound like appropriation. Hey man, hey, get out of here! Whoa, wait. Fella, you're in the wrong spot, bro. Beat it.
Wait, so now you're appropriating a black comedian's impression of a white guy?
Yeah, that doesn't fix anything.
That's a double whammy.
Exactly.
No, I'm impersonating a Chinese guy, impersonating a white guy, Hey, I got my 21 and whatever back, and I'm part black, so I can talk about this.
Andy couldn't afford that one, so he got the 21 and 1.
He doesn't have all the chromosomes anyway.
Hey, he said he was 21.
That's why he drew the mustache on earlier.
You gotta have chromosomes to get in that shit? Fuck that. What happened to us pro-magnets, man? My family's definitely, we didn't evolve for a reason. We wanted to be ready for climate change. The rest of you motherfuckers try scaling a tree. Like that's the rest, Andrews are, we climb trees like Samoans. My house.
Yeah, and Larry's going to have a bunch of crazy contraptions built that you guys can steam around on in the fucking dystopian future, too, I think.
Well, if he doesn't have a psychotic meltdown, which is way more likely, kind of survival. Yeah, I wish I could talk to Larry, interview Larry first responders. That would be fucking hilarious. Just how did being a first responder affect you years after first responding to Larry? Like, I still think about it every day.
Yeah, see how many of them just quit right after that.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Too rattled, man. This is not for me.
Yeah, literally, fuck this shit. Like hand cleaner. But Larry's going over. Larry's getting a makeover. Actually, he's David's de-hoarding his trailer, which I mean, he lived in I don't know if I'll send you a picture of Larry's Winnebago. It's very if cousin Eddie decided to stop the Winnebago and start hoarding and live behind tweakers, that's kind of what you got there. And I guess he had a lot more pets than he really thought. He
found pets.
Turns out that bird wasn't eating nearly as much bird seed as he thought. There was a whole network of rats. Yeah, Larry had a lot of rats. Good. So that's why it's important to keep those pills locked up and the lids on tight.
You don't want the rats on Xanax.
Well, I can't imagine how many of those rats got into some pills, and they probably are fucking addicts hanging out.
I still think Andy's confessing to something.
No, I don't want to give. Larry's like an ice cream salesman.
No, I don't know.
Well,
it
wasn't just me.
Look, Larry has some medications and he takes drugs and stuff, and they're all prescribed to him. But I'm just thinking if he had a lot of rats and on him, he'd lose a lot of clients. Some of that overhead get eaten by the rats.
probably
yeah, there's about 10% to the rats all the time.
But yeah, if next time I go see Larry, he's gonna have floor space.
It's good.
Yeah.
He can set up his drums.
Well, he's a bongo player. I don't know if he's, I hope he didn't get rid of the whole pool and everything outside, because I like to go sit at Larry's place and put my feet in the pool and just watch him do his thing, which is break glass, and design little shards. He takes glass shards and designs it into stuff. Nothing that you'd want, but it's still cool.
So he breaks. The breaking of the glass is probably the fun part, right?
Well, I had a chunk of mirror thrown away, and Larry goes, he wanted the mirror, and then I go, okay, and then I thought, what the fuck is he gonna do with it? And then I went to visit, and it was on a table. It was still, where you could get cut on it pretty easily, but it was made into a marijuana leaf. Like, I get it. He saw that broken mirror. I saw it as garbage, and then he saw it as a piece of, art you could get.
So you get to break a pane of glass, and then sift around in the shards till you find one that looks a little bit like a marijuana leaf, and then I think he's retired. I think it's safe to say he's retired. I think he's settled. I think Larry's settled down a little bit these days, and he's working on the art. And he's got a bunch of marbles in a Gentleman Jack whiskey bottle. That every time I'm there, I'm like, God damn it! I hope when Larry's gone, I'm the first one. I'd like to have that. All of Larry's marbles and a Gentleman's Jack bottle combined. Like, I don't want any of his parachute pants or any of the leather vest. I picture Andy as a little kid and like saying to his older brother, like, I'll get those fucking marbles someday, you cocksucker. And then, 85 years old, he's got the fucking bottle and he's like, ah.
I actually had a good relationship with marbles and Larry back in the day, because Larry ran at me one time, and I learned them heavier marbles were great. Like that was my Spider-Man webbing or whatever.
Yes, I think you.
Yeah. I knocked Larry's front teeth out. Right. and he still, like when I saw he had a new grill recently, and it's really the first time his teeth looked right since I was in 5th grade.
Maybe that's why he put all the marbles in a whiskey bottle so you couldn't fucking chuck them.
He probably has a different relationship with marbles than I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love them things, and if I were, if I were ever in a situation like the greasers were coming down wanting to mix it up at my house, and I got my bat.
Like the greasers.
I got my bat. And I got marbles. Marbles are to keep them from getting up in here. And once they're in here, you still use them for close range. But then you get right into the wet work with that bat. Oh yeah.
Wait, so your defense plan is you're going to sit out on your porch with a bag of marbles and an aluminum bat.
It's a rated R Home Alone.
Yeah. Exactly.
Little Kevin's all grown up.
Yeah. Put marbles on the motherfucking
I would
stairs. I'm going to sit up here and smoke weed. I'm going to end with a bat if they make him pass my marbles.
I've always wanted to go like Swiss Family Robinson a little bit too, and I'd probably round up some turkeys if I knew they were coming and have wild turkeys. Like, you show up to rob my house, I got wild turkeys in the living room. Yeah, go ahead. Try to get my VHS, motherfucker.
You are correct.
Get your thieving white asses off my property.
Get them, turkeys.
Warm.
Get them, you non-jive. Get them, jive-free turkeys. Free-range, jive-free motherfuckers. If you kept turkeys in your house, would they be free-range or would they be roommates?
It depends if they're paying.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Talon strap. If they're like James in and Talon, I pulled myself. I don't pay rent. I pulled myself up on my Talon straps. So you're not paying rent, huh? Hey,
yeah. That's a good transition to the plugs, because we'll be seeing old Bootstraps in March on the 23rd at the Comedy Store with the big Unbookables reunion show that's happening, and the tickets are now available.
The size of that van now. Since Mishka's been driving it, it's all ego now, and it's actually shrunk. The size of the van has shrunk around his ego.
We're heading up to Boise, and we'll be there for a little bit, and then Doug's meeting us up there on the 3rd. That show's already sold out. Spokane sold out on the 5th, and then 7th and 8th, or I think it was 8th. Yeah, 7th and 8th is Seattle. I think there's still tickets for one of the Seattle shows, and everything else is DougStandUp.com. He's doing Boston, Baltimore, and Denver, and then there's some other stuff coming up, but I'll find out about it once I get up to Boise.
I'm doing this gig with Inman.
Yeah. All right, good enough. Chad? Hot Wing Challenge coming up? Anything like that? What's going on?
No, we'll probably have a dart thing coming up, and we talked on the Stanhope podcast. We might be doing a dart night over at the Funhouse every once in a while, even. But for now, just go to my pinned tweet on my Twitter at HDFatty, and it'll tell you how to subscribe. I'll put a link in the comments of the YouTube as well. That makes it easy. So.
All right, there you have it. I feel like it's a kind of a soft
stay
close.
At my Airbnb. Don't use the front door. follow the directions at the Airbnb and don't make that mistake. You know, I got to go get some tarps.
And if you hear some yelling on the other side of the door, don't assume somebody's just watching Sanford and Son really loud.
Yeah.
It's Andy.
Yeah.
When I open the front door, I do it by going out the back door and coming around and coming up behind the person knocking on the front door. I'm the one who knocks on the one who's knocking.
Oh shit. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Like and subscribe to the channel. I've been Brett Erickson. That's Greg Shaley, Chad Shank, and Andy Andrus.
And Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders.
Bye, Bernie.
sidewalk, Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so you saw,
Oh, shit.
you guys,
We saw it too.
did you
We
see a
also saw it.
Hispanic cowboy sauntering by?
Yes. This fucking podcast just got 1,000 times fucking funnier.